welcome to another Insensu Education Marketing video. My name is Lara Melville and I'm here to help you grow your business in the UK education sector and sell more to schools. In today's video, I'd like to look at why suppliers find selling to schools such a minefield. And there are a number of reasons for this, whether you are a supplier who is really new to the education sector, perhaps you sell into another sector, but schools seem to be a little bit more difficult. Or it might be that you're a head teacher or somebody with an education sector background who have seen a gap in the market and are now producing a product or service for schools, but maybe the marketing aspect of that is a little bit more of a challenge. I want to have a look today at a few reasons why this might be difficult. And first of all, we'll have a look at the structure or the school procurement structure and who holds the purse strings. And this is going to be different in different schools, but who signs off on the budget may depend on the type of product or service you're offering and the price of that. So if you're selling something that's £10, for example, who signs off on that and who holds the purse strings for that may be very different to if you've got a much more expensive £10,000 product, for example, or it might be the license or a contract for 12 months or longer, in which case other stakeholders and budget holders may be involved in that. So understanding who you need to reach out to can sometimes be difficult. One of the things that many suppliers I work with often say is that selling to schools feels more of a challenge because it's a school. We're reaching out to schools. How do we do that? And my answer to that is that you're not selling to a school. You're actually selling to a person in a school. So they will have very similar purchasing habits to you or me, in that they want to get good value for money. They don't want to be paying over the odds for something. They want something that's good quality. They, if they are spending more money on a product or service, then perhaps they would like a recommendation or a rating or review. They want to know that there is some service behind what you are providing as well, if it's something that you're spending more money on. So that can sometimes be a challenge, just seeing that you are selling to a person and how you do that. In fact, in our dashboard, in the Insensu dashboard, in the Education Marketing Hub, there are lots of resources to support suppliers as they are navigating this minefield of school procurement. And selling to schools in there and creating education sector avatars may be very helpful on that front. So a little activity there where you start to think about the roles of people in school. What are their challenges? What are their strengths? How can you message for that? May be very helpful. The other thing that suppliers often say is that they have reached out to schools and they find it very difficult to get past the person on the telephone, or they will send emails and they're not getting anything back. It's the whole getting past the gatekeeper, as it were, that people can often find a challenge with schools. So there are some ideas that we can offer in terms of reaching out to the right named person and who that might be, using other more traditional methods to reach out to budget holders. So lots of ideas. I've done some videos on that, finding your perfect client, creating avatars, as I mentioned. Another real issue, I think, for suppliers is overcoming the obstacle of schools saying, I'm sorry, but school budgets are really tight. You've got a great product, really like it. I know it would support our students, but as you know, school budgets are really tight. So how do you overcome that objection? Understanding the sector and being able to message and be able to come back against that, or even avoid that in the first place, is something that we talk to our suppliers about. The education budget is £99 billion this year, £99 billion. And it will be the same, if not more, again next year. And all of it and more will be spent, that whole education budget. Plus, there'll be other pots of spending that the government announced throughout the year as well that are tapped into by schools. So schools are spending. So To say school budgets are tight, yes, they're tight in the sense that that money has to be spread across many schools, trying to ensure that their buildings are kept safe and compliant, and that they are improving opportunities for students and increasing performance, etc. But schools are spending. What you need support with is ensuring that schools are spending with your business so that you are tapping into some of that UK education budget. Another issue for education suppliers is often not appreciating the time pressures that are on schools and school budget holders. So this is often if you're coming into the sector from another sector, or you're new to selling to schools, sometimes not understanding how long that sales process is in schools because people are so busy. The other thing, if you are coming at it from an angle of being within the education sector, knowing that you've got a product or service that could sell really well, but not considering or not recognizing how many touch points when you're making a purchase yourself that you go through before you actually make that purchase. So understanding not only the length of the sales cycle, but understanding how many times you've got to reach out to a school to turn that lead into a sale. Another thing that a lot of suppliers come to us with is not understanding the pain points within schools that they can then match their education marketing messages to. So if I give you an example of, let's say, a company who provides literacy resources for schools, it might be tempting to keep putting out the message that you have a literacy resource that's going to really help improve reading and writing for pupils. However, the pain points during the year may very well be different. During May, for example, schools, year 2, year 6 teachers, they may have the pain point of preparing their pupils for the SATs tests. Whereas maybe an English teacher preparing their GCSE or A-level students, their pain point will be possibly at a different time and will be slightly different. So getting your marketing message to match up with their pain points and providing a solution often gets really good results. Another example might be if you have a platform that helps generate income for schools by hiring out your sports facilities, for example. You're going to do different messaging at different times of the year. So if you're in the autumn term, you may be putting messaging out that reflects something to do with the weather and booking out your sports hall for, during poor weather or for the winter sports. Whereas during the spring and leading into the summer, your messaging will be more around perhaps bringing in income from hiring out the tennis courts or your athletics track. So different problems at different times of the year, and you're wanting to overcome those problems for schools with your messaging. So a little reminder from me that go to the Education Marketing Hub, which is in the dashboard for members. There are lots of videos in there. There are templates that can help. There are useful links for you to use, but lots of supporting materials there really to help you to understand the sector and to sell more to schools. Thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to you joining me on another education marketing video. If you would like more help to reach out to more budget holders in schools, academies and multi-academy trusts, then head over to insenzu.co.uk or give us a call on 0800 633 5722, or you can always drop us a line at office@insenzu.co.uk.